By the end of this video, you are going to have your own template in Google Slides made from scratch. Today, we're diving into the theme builder in Google Slides, and I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create your own template. Whether you're starting with my template and customizing it, or you're building a brand new one, we are going to end in a place where you're going to have a system that works for you. Quick intro, my name is Rachel and I teach using systems of both mastery-based learning and grading, as well as flexible pacing with my students. This channel is all about teaching you how to create systems to reduce your workload, as well as improve student learning. In my last video, I talked about the templates that we're going to build today. So if you've missed that one, you can go into the links in the description below. I'll link the video as well as the template that I showed you in my first video. So you can go grab those and check those out if you want. Otherwise, let's just jump right into how to build in Google Slides using the theme builder. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up a new set of Google Slides. So we're going to use my favorite shortcut, which is slides.new, to create our new set of Google Slides. Once we're in here, then let's just close our templates tab and give our presentation a title. Now, I like to title my templates with the word template in it so that I know when I'm going back and looking for this, that it's a template file. So I'm just going to call this my mastery based, and then I'm just going to use template. I like to put it in square brackets too. It's just a naming convention I use, but you do you, whatever works for you. Okay, now that we've got the name for our file, we're going to go into View and Theme Builder. Theme Builder is where everything is that we're going to do to create our theme, because currently right now, if we take a look at our layout of our slides, it's all just the generic stuff inside here. So we want to go in and edit all of these different slide layouts to get the theme that we want to basically use and the layouts we want to use for our template. So let's go into View, and then we're going to go into Theme Builder. And this is where the magic happens. Now, what I really love about this is I can create a theme and a template that then gives me consistent layouts for every single lesson that I use. And it saves me so much time in lesson planning because I'm just using the same template over and over again. And it also helps my students with consistency. When they get used to seeing the same set of slides over and over again, then they are going to be able to follow along easier, not have to figure out what's going on, and just get right into the learning, which is what we want. Okay, so in our theme builder, on the side here, there's a couple of different types of slides. There's a theme slide, and then there's the layout slides. The way I kind of like to think about the difference between these two is the theme slide applies the theme to all of the slides. So this is where you want to set your fonts and your potential font colors, as well as if you want to change the bullet style, all of font sizes, all of those sort of things. This is where you do it, and it will then apply those themes across all of your layouts. Before we get into that though, it can be nice to go in and rename your theme to something that, you know, fills your heart and makes you happy about that. So instead of this being called Simple Light, I'm going to be calling this my Mastery-Based Learning template, or I'm just going to call it Mastery-Based Learning and click OK. So now it's called that. That makes me a little bit happier. You don't have to rename it, but it can be helpful when you're going in and checking and pulling out the theme itself into a new slide deck to make sure that you're using the right one. Okay, so in the theme slide here, what I like to do is I like to go in and I like to change my fonts. If you do not know me, I'm a huge font snob. So there's only so many fonts that I really, really like. I do like Poppins because I find that that one is nicely laid out in terms of the letter style, especially the A's. If you don't know about the A's, that's okay. There's different styles of A's. For this one, though, I don't have Poppins in this account, so I'm just going to go with Montserrat because that's another one that I quite like in terms of style. In terms of my titles, I always like them bolded too. So I'm just going to come up here and bold my titles because I want them all bolded. Now, in this default setting, in the text slides here, it comes with this like grayish kind of color for the text. So I like to go in and set them all to black. I really like black and I like that contrast with the white because it gives the most amount of contrast and makes things look really clear and clean for students to read and to understand. I'm also going to change the style in this box here to Montserrat so it matches my title. You could pick a different font style here if you like. Totally up to you. And then I like to set my font size to something decent size. So I'm going to go like 18 or 24 here. I think 18 is pretty good because these are for slides that my students are going to have open on their laptops and they're going to be self-pacing through them. But if you are presenting this on a screen, on a projector at the front of the room, you might want to go a bit bigger, like 24. And then my titles, just kind of clicking back on my title one, it's set at 28. That's pretty good. Maybe 30 is kind of nice as well. So I'm going to do that. Now, if you noticed, as I'm kind of setting those different themes there, each of the different layouts now has those fonts and the bolding styles as well as the sizes throughout the different slides, which is great. Um, we now don't have to worry about going and changing the fonts on every single layout in order to figure out all of our different layouts. We've done it once, saved ourselves some time, and now we are ready to go. Now, the other thing we can talk about here before we jump into the different layouts is that there is a colors tab here that you can click on. So if you click on the colors and you go to, say, the text and background, you could come in here and just change everything to black here in terms of the colors as well. You didn't have to go and change it within this text box on the main theme slide. So that's one thing you can do there. You can go in and take a look at some of the other colors as well. I'm going to leave them, I think, as is for now, but that is something that you can go in and customize as well if you would like different colors for different sort of theme styles within your theme builder. Okay, so let's just jump in. The first slide that I want to create is my title slide. So I like to, as I'm working on my layouts, I like to just go in and edit the layouts that are already there because it makes it a little bit easier to come up with those layouts. Although I will show you how to create a new slide and create a new layout if you would like to do that instead. I usually like to come in and just double check and make sure that my title of my layout is what I want it to be. So if I'm okay with title slide, I might just leave it at that. I think maybe I'll just take off the title and, or the slide part of the name, sorry, and leave it as title there. Now, I like to use a color coding system. I talked about my color coding system in my other video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail there. But I do like to set my sort of general information slides to purple for the background. So I'm going to go into background, and then I'm going to go into the color. And I generally pick the sort of second shade down in the shades of colors. I find that that gives kind of a nice color. You can also go in and create custom colors. You can go pick colors, totally what you want to do. You can see those theme colors all up at the top here. So if you wanted to set your theme colors, then you would just go in and click from here. So that could be kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to set that purple and then I'm going to click done. Now that's a little bit difficult to read. I don't love black text on colored backgrounds, to me, it just doesn't look clean and easy to read. So I like to create a box that kind of goes behind the slides or behind the words so that I can set a white background on that while still showing a bit of the color on the outside and making everything just look cleaner. So I'm going to go to my shapes tool here, go to shapes, and then I'm going to pick this rectangle. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle. I'm kind of okay if it doesn't, it's not the exact dimensions because I can fix it afterwards. And now our shape box has covered up our words. So we can play with our arrangement. If you right click on that text box, you can go to order and then you can send it backwards. Let's go. You can also press the control or the command, depending on if you're on PC or Mac, and the down key. So I'm just going to do that because I like keyboard shortcuts. So you can see my titles now come up, and if I keep pushing it back, my titles, my title has also shown up there. So I'm good with that. I'm then going to right click on it again. I'm going to go to center on page. I'm going to center it horizontally first, and then I'm going to center it vertically. So that gives me an even margin all the way around my slide. And then I also like to set an outline for my text boxes here. So I'm going to make it black. And then I'm going to change the thickness. Let's see what 4 is kind of a little in your face. So maybe let's go down to 2. 2 looks good. So I like that. I'm pretty happy with that. And that is my title slide. Now, to make it a bit quicker to set up my other slides, I'm just going to take this box, this white rectangle I created. I'm going to copy it with it, going Command or Control C, depending on if you're on Mac or PC. And then I'm going to go down to my next layout here. I'm going to skip this one because I don't really use a section header. But I'm going to go down to my title and body slide, and I'm going to paste that in there. And then I'm going to use my ordering thing again in order to get it to go backwards. Now, for some reason, it's filled with gray. Maybe actually, let's go here. I think I forgot to change the fill color. So if we click on it again, go to the fill color. Yeah, so it's filled it with this light gray. I'm going to switch it to white because I want it to like really pop with my fonts. So I'm going to click on this one again. I'm going to change that to white. And then from here, what I want to do is I want to use this slide for several layouts in my theme. So I'm going to I've got it kind of the way I want. And then before I do anything else, I'm going to just Command or Control C, and then Command or Control V. And you can see it's now popped another one directly below it. And it's called it Title and Body 1 instead of Title and Body. So this one here, I'm going to rename it. And maybe I'm going to call this my video slide. I'm going to click OK. And generally for my video slides, I usually like to make this text box about half of the page or so. And then I like to save the other space to embed my video within there. So that is looking pretty good. And then I'm going to copy and paste that slide 2 more times because then I can add in my color coding system. So I'm going to rename this one again. I'm going to call this video MD for must do. And my must do's, I like to change the background color to a red. So I'm going to do that there. And then the next slide, I'm going to rename that, call that video should do or SD. And then I'm going to change the background color of that one to yellow. Okay. And then my next one here, this is going to be my aspire to do video. So I'm going to call it video aspire to do. And I'm going to click on the background and change that to green. Okay. All right. Now, if there are slides within or layouts within your theme by the end of the time you finish building with it, you can delete them. So if you just click on them on the side here and then hit delete, or you can right click on it and also delete, then that will get rid of the layout within your particular set of layouts in your theme. So that's kind of nice. All right. So I'm not going to go through and build every single slide from my theme. I just wanted to show you an idea of how to go in and edit those different layouts and how to change the colors and set up the styles. I do want to show you though, if you want to create a slide from, say, a blank slide. So if we want to here go in and add a new layout, say none of these layouts we want to edit from, we just want to start from scratch. You can go up to the plus button for a new layout, click on that. It's going to come up as kind of a generic like title with nothing else in there. Say, for example, this title isn't even in there though. And you can start building some ideas in here. So, one thing that's really kind of neat, if you want something that is a placeholder for you to add text, instead of just inserting a text box by clicking on the text button, if you click on the drop down, you can add a text box and think of that as just adding permanent text that you can never change on your theme slide. Whereas if you add placeholders, those are the ones that come up where you can click inside the box and then change the text after you've added it in. So say I want a title placeholder, I'm going to click on that and then just drag it in exactly where I want it to go on my theme. So I can do that here as well. I can do body text and say I want that there, and you can see how quick this is. You can do a similar thing with images. So if there's an image that you want permanently on the slide and you don't want to be able to change it, you would just go to insert an image. But if you want a placeholder for an image, then you can go to the image placeholder. You can pick from a couple of different crop styles. Say you want a rectangle, and you put that in there. And then maybe let's just rename this and we'll call this our image slide layout just so we can see what it looks like in a minute. Okay, so those are the basics of building things within the theme builder itself. And you can have a lot of fun and a lot of creativity with this theme builder. Now, once you're happy with the theme that you've built, what you want to do is get out of the theme builder by clicking on the X just at the side there. And what you're then going to do, since this is already our template, if you wanted to now go in and take a look at your layouts, you can see that those layouts that we've created are in here. And if we say, for example, let's pick that image one so I can show you that we've now got a place where we can click in, add our title, add our text, and then this image placeholder is really neat because if you click on that, you can just import or upload directly from your computer, your image, as well as from your camera, URL, all of those sort of things. So that's really neat. Sometimes it's fun to create these templates that you know that students are going to be building things from, because then you can do the layout for them and then they can go in and also build their lesson that way. The sky's really the limits in terms of how to use this. Now, if I wanted to use this template in a new slide deck, if I click over and just open another new slide deck going slides.new, whoops, hold on. If I go slides.new, then to get your template into your new slide deck, you're just going to go into the theme option here. You're going to go down to import theme, and then you're going to go find your last sort of slide deck that you used with that theme. So this mastery based template is the one I was just building. I'm going to click on insert, and if you pick the right one, you're going to see the name of what you renamed your theme here. So this is my mastery based learning theme. So I'm good. I know I've picked the right one. And then I'm going to import theme. And there we go. It is now selecting and bringing up all of your fonts, all of your saved colors, all of your lovely different designs that you've created for your slides in just one click. And there you have it. Now we've built our Google Slides template using the theme builder in Google Slides, and you have your own template now that you can use. But you might be wondering, now what do I do with this template? Well, if you haven't had a chance, you can go back and watch my last video where I show you and walk you through my entire workflow on how I use this template to create lessons very quickly for my students. So I show you in that video how to build lessons fast, how to structure it for mastery-based learning, how I use the color coding system, and how I then share and have students work through those lessons. So go check it out, linked in the card right beside here. Thanks for building with me today, and we'll see you in the next video.